Hi folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to check out Space Invaders Dice. It supports 1 to 4 players, it's for ages 8 and up, and the average play time is about 15 minutes. And yes, I'm recording this on my computer desk. It's that small and compact, so if you want to bring it with you, no problems. It's a pretty fun game. For those of you that are old like myself and are familiar with retro games, like maybe Atari 2600 era, something like that, Space Invaders, you'll know you had this little ship or whatever it was on the very bottom of the screen, and you were shooting lasers at the aliens that were coming down at you. Well, that's what you're going to be doing. Each player is going to get a score pad, or if you're playing solo, you just get one for yourself, and you're going to be rolling dice to try and shoot these aliens. And the more aliens you shoot, the more points you get. If you happen to shoot an UFO, you'll roll the UFO die here, and that determines how many bonus points you get, and you'll simply mark that. This game does not come with a pen or a pencil, so you'll want to have one handy so that you can mark stuff off. Here is a look at the rule book for those of you curious. There's many different ways to play. I'm going to show you the solo version today. There's the standard solo, marathon solo, standard multiplayer, draft multiplayer. Now, the differences here is that in marathon, you're going to be playing multiple games by yourself, and you're going to make the game more difficult as you go. In standard multiplayer, in the single-player game, you have to mark off a UFO after every turn. But in multiplayer, you only mark off a UFO, you only mark off a UFO whenever someone else does, meaning they hit it. So let's say that I were to hit this UFO here. Every other person would have to mark off that UFO on their respective score sheets. So UFOs do not go away automatically in multiplayer. It's just the first person to hit that UFO, the other people have to scratch them out as well. But only you get the bonus points for it. In draft multiplayer, you'll be rolling these dice over here that shoot at these aliens, and you'll be drafting dice. You'll be taking turns picking which dice you want to use. So that's the gist of solo and multiplayer. I didn't go over everything, but let's just quickly show you what a turn looks like. So first you're going to do laser dice rolls, and again, this is for the solo game. You're going to take 2 of these 3 white dice, and they're numbered 1 through 6. You're going to roll them, and I've got a 6 and a 6. You're going to take the total, which is 12, and put one of the die on the 12 space down here. I know it looks kind of funny to put a 6 on top of a 12, but never mind that. This just simply means that these are the columns that you cannot shoot up whenever you roll these other dice, which I'll get to in a minute. You're going to take the 2 remaining dice, roll those, 5 and 1, and you'll take the total and put that die there. So I'm going to put the 5 here. Or 5 and 1 is 6, so the 5 goes on the 6. And then we're going to roll the last die. That by itself is a 5. That's not going to work. We have to roll again. 1. That's actually good for us. This counts as an empty column, by the way. Now, next up is the attack dice roll. So you're going to take all of the dice here and roll them. Now, you start off with a full 8 dice at the beginning of the game, but as you clear columns, you start losing dice. For every 2 columns that are empty, you lose one of these dice here. Now, like I said, you already start with 1 column that is empty. So the next column that is empty, you'll end up losing 1 die, and you won't be able to roll that anymore. So let's go ahead and roll these. Alright, and we'll just do that. Now, you can re-roll dice. These, by the way, these little green, like you'll know these from the retro Space Invaders as like little shields that you can hide behind. These simply allow you to remove these column dice here, these little white dice, so that you can shoot up those columns. But let's say I had rolled something like this, a blue, green, pink, X means that I missed. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to go ahead and take a look at these dice and decide, okay, do I want to re-roll any of these? I can choose not to use it. So I could use this blue one to, say, shoot at this blue alien here, and I would go ahead and mark it off. So that would be 1 blue one. Now, I cannot use this green one here because I did not clear a column. I didn't clear any of the blue aliens away completely in order to use the green one. So I wouldn't be able to use that. So there's also these pink ones here that I can't use because that represents the pink aliens. Only the pink cannon can shoot at the pink aliens, and I can't shoot them right now because, well, you know, so that's that. So I can't really use these dice over here at all. These green-blue ones here that are a combination, I could use those for the blue ones. So I might want to like kill 1, 2, 3. I could use this shield to get rid of one of these dice for that turn. I don't know why I'd want to. Or I can re-roll it. Now, you also have life points in this game. Every time you get an X, you'll go ahead and mark off these empty spaces. There's these little empty spaces that run along the horizontal row here and the vertical column here. If you manage to roll X's like that on your first roll, then you'll mark off 1 X as a miss. But if you re-roll a die and you can't use it, that counts as 2 as opposed to 1. So any unused dice will count against you and you'll be hit as a result. So you can choose to either keep the dice that you have and take 1 hit, or you can try and re-roll those dice and risk taking 2 hits, but also, you know, have the added benefit of being able to use those dice. Hopefully that makes sense. So in this example, let's say I wanted to use this to remove this here, or whatever. And then I've got, okay, I have these 4 dice over here that I can't use. So let's say I decide to roll these 3 only. And if I re-roll, I could actually just re-roll all of them. All right, so now I've got this green. Okay, so I can use these 2. All right, so one of them's blue, so I can mark off another blue alien, score some points for it. I could take away another one of these dice, it's no problem. But I rolled 2 X's, and now I have to take 2 penalties, so 4 damage here would be marked off here, and that would be it. And that would be the end of the re-roll phase, which is optional. Lose 1 red UFO, again in single player, you're going to go ahead and choose one of the red UFOs up here to mark off as they flew away. And then column check, -1 die per 2 empty columns, and then full clear is 990 points. The game ends when you run out of life points or whenever you completely clear the board. If you happen to run out of life points, just simply add up the number of points you had based on the aliens you killed, plus any bonus points that you might have gotten if you killed a UFO. If you got like 250 for shooting this one, or 200 for shooting this one, whatever the case may be. And again, in multiplayer, it's going to work somewhat similar. Each player is going to have their own pad, and they're going to take turns rolling dice. The game suggests that if you have more than 4 players, that you get a second copy of the game so that there's no downtime. I mean, you could play more than 4 players. The box does say 1 to 4, but you could give like 8 players, a sheet each. The problem is that there's going to be a lot of downtime in between waiting for each player to roll dice, mark off their score pads, and so on and so forth. So the game recommends that you have a second game handy to reduce the amount of downtime so that, 2 players can roll dice as opposed to just 1. Yeah, so anyway, that is the gist of Space Invaders Dice. I didn't go over all of the rules found in the manual, but hopefully this gives you a quick idea as to whether or not it's something you might want to pick up. So I'll put a link in the below description in case you're interested in buying it. If I can't find it for whatever reason, I'll at least put a link to I like to link the Amazon store page because I get a small kickback from that. But if I can't find it on Amazon, I'll go ahead and link the official website so that you could at least look at it there and possibly buy it. So again, that was Space Invaders Dice. If you guys haven't already, check out my official website, www.dadsgamingaddiction.com. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you can keep up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.